Hi, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to jump on a thread that I picked up from Steve at All the World's a Stage. And the thread's been set by Ben Rankins down in Australia. And Ben focuses on a lot of Australian music. So you might be familiar with him, but worth checking out his channel, as it is Steve at All the World's a Stage. Um, Ben set a dozen questions for people to reflect on in terms of their kind of music collection. And having sat through his and sat through Steve's, I thought these are pretty interesting questions. So I just printed off the questions. I've not thought about it. I'm just going to basically just hit the questions one by one, see where we end up. So here we are. So Ben entitled his video, "I have the best record collection in the world," and of course the catch is it's the best record collection for him, and of course we all think we have the best record collection for ourselves. Well, maybe. So anyway, here we go. Question number one: is diversity in your collection important? Now, what he means is that diversity in terms of musical genre. Is it important? It is what it is, as far as I'm concerned. It's just something that's evolved over time. First started buying records around 1972. It wasn't too long before I was just branching out into classical music. Initially, simply because it was cheap. You could get these budget label classical recordings that reissues that were of excellent quality for peanuts. So broaden things out, and then over the years I've gone through all the pretty much all the genres of rock and pop music, classical music, jazz, world music in places, reggae of course as well. So many different. But so diversity is just something that has evolved. It's not something that I've set out to achieve. So question two: are you a completist? Um, I am and I'm not really. I'm one of these people who, if I like an artist and I pick up a new artist, someone makes a recommendation to me, and I like what he or she does or what the band does, I will very quickly hoover up as much as I can within reason. So I'm not going to spend a fortune, but these days it's not that expensive to collect a lot of material, a lot of software in to bolster your collection if something catches your attention. So there's a few bands. I used to be a completist for Springsteen, for Genesis, um, bands that I picked up on in the 1970s, artists as well. I've got vast collections for, your Dylan and Beatles and so on, but I'm not a dedicated completist any longer. Question number three: do you like do you like to have several different formats, and why? Well, I started buying records, vinyl records, of course, like many of us did of this generation. And then when the CD era came along in the 1980s, I stepped on that particular bandwagon and started hoovering up CDs, and didn't really buy too much in the way of vinyl until because CDs were so great, weren't they? So I didn't buy so much in terms of vinyl for quite some time, and then started to kind of get back into it when I created a dedicated listening room. And it's subject of another video, I guess, but I do want to draw the distinction between casual listening or hearing music when you're on the move or in the car while you're doing household chores, reading the newspaper, and dedicated, concentrated listening, because I think that's a different experience altogether. Um, but back in the day, I purchased a lot of cassettes, and this year, 2023, I binned a load of those cassettes, and now I've only got a shoebox full of cassettes that don't get played because I haven't got a cassette player in my hi-fi setup anyway. Um, so I do buy CDs still today. I buy more vinyl than CDs, but I still buy CDs, not least because they're cheap and it's easy to fill out the collection and find not just bargains but some really interesting music that you sometimes simply don't get on vinyl. So when you get a vinyl compilation, for example, the CD version of it tends to have many more tracks. So there you go. That's a long-winded answer to question number 3. Is having all the classics more important than having the obscurities that no one else has? No, no. Is having OGs important to you? Are you happy with reissues? I'm very happy with reissues. To me, it's all about the music. And as Mazzy would say, it's the music stupid. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not. I've never been a trader. I've never been one of these people who really want to get my hands on these grails and then covet them. Um, wrap them in cotton wool and then maybe sell them for a profit 10 years later. It's not my thing. I've got quite a few originals in my collection, but they're there by accident because maybe I bought them at the time, or I've picked them up in record shops or record fairs ever since. So OGs aren't important. Is the size of your collection important? Not to me. It is to my other half though, because there's records and CDs all over the damn place. So it is a problem. And I'm culling classical music, which is much of it, not all of it, but vinyl versions behind me here, some rock and stuff over there. So that's being seriously cut back. And then I'm going to then get rid of all the duplicates in my collection. So in this space here, I've got duplicate copies of albums I've got in my listening room. So this is that's an ongoing job. So yeah, the size of the collection is not important to me, but it is to someone else in my life. Do you prefer your collection to be well curated or a mixed bag of wonderful weirdness? Again, it's a bit like my answer to an earlier question. It is what it is. I don't seek particularly weird stuff, but I've got pretty broad tastes, and I'm very patient in exploring the interesting new music that brings surprises to me. Um, I guess that's it really. So it is just by its nature, it's a mixed bag. Um, do you care what others think of your collection and/or collecting habits, stroke obsession? I think there might have been a time when I was younger that it was kind of a bit of a boastful thing to say, "Hey, look at my record and CD collection. Look, my hi-fi, it's great." But I don't care anymore. I really don't care anymore. Um, it's got to the point now where the collection is so eclectic and so big that people definitely think I'm a weirdo. So there's no point in worrying about what people think of you, as if their default position is to say, well, this guy is definitely a weirdo. Do you see your collection in terms of what you have or what you don't have? It's what I have. Um, I did a little while ago. I started a list of the records, these grails. I was on the lookout for, and then I realized I either had them in a different format already, or I didn't really want them that badly. So occasionally I will go to a record fair and just check things out. And if something catches my eye, or it reminds me, oh, I didn't get that back in the day, so I'll pick it up now. But I don't sit there and angst over the records or the CDs that I don't have. I really don't. Um, where does it all end? Landfill, probably. Um, I thought there might be a point in time when my daughters might pick up, even though one of them in particular likes indie rock and is a gig goer. It's great stuff. But I can't see her getting into vinyl or my vinyl or CDs because it's all Spotify. And I've had my Spotify years; they've been and gone. But that's the sort of thing that my girls use, and so they will not be interested in all of this. So um, I think that in all likelihood is that there'll come a point in time when I will make a decision to get rid of all but the very essential vinyl and then rely on CDs. Basically for space concerns, but also for um, just I just don't think in the future, looking, not just the immediate future, but beyond, I don't think I'm going to necessarily really enjoy that concentrated listening that is kind of my go-to approach to music these days. I think I'm just going to become more casual again. And CDs is going to be the format of choice. So there'll come a point in time when my record collection will go. And I did think that what I'll do is I'll let my girls get rid of it, and then they can keep the money, or at least a portion of it. You know, maybe 5%. Was that fair? Do you think? If they put it all on Discogs and so, oh, I don't know, but I'm not sure that they're interested enough to want to make money selling my record collection. So I don't know what's going to end up. Does it even matter in the big scheme of things? Of course, it doesn't matter. Can I have your records when you die? Certainly not. Because Ben, you probably couldn't afford to ship it from all the way from the UK to Australia, so you can't have it, mate. Bonus question that Ben added in his video. When you look at across the whole record collection, music collection that you have, is there a theme that emerges? And I wouldn't say there is, because it's multi-genre is my collection. My theme, I think, if there is a theme, it's that the music that continues to excite me is music that surprises, and the ones that have the most emotional impact are the ones that demand concentrated listening. So music in the background is all well and good, it's pleasant and all that, but it doesn't move me the way music does when it demands concentrated listening. So the theme of my record collection is that if I really distilled it down to the essential, it would all be music that demands my full attention when I'm playing it. So there you go. Thanks, Ben, for that, and thanks, Steve, for prompting me to do the video. And I shall see you on the next one. Bye for now.